Your future is rarely destroyed by one powerful enemy. It is destroyed by one emotional moment you failed to control, one angry reply, one desperate decision, one impulsive move made while your mind was burning and your judgment was blind. Machiavelli understood that power does not belong to the man who feels nothing. It belongs to the man who feels everything, yet refuses to become a servant to it. Anyone can remain calm when life obeys them. The real test begins when you are disrespected, betrayed, rejected, or deliberately provoked. That reaction is what weak people give away and strategic people protect. The moment someone controls your emotions, they control your next move. And when your next move becomes predictable, you become easy to manipulate. Anger reveals what threatens you. Jealousy reveals what you fear losing. Desperation reveals what you cannot live without. Impatience announces that pressure is working. But a disciplined man gives nothing away. He does not answer immediately. He does not make permanent decisions inside temporary storms. He waits, observes, and allows the noise inside him to settle before choosing his direction. This is not weakness. This is psychological warfare. Your emotions are information, not instructions. A wounded ego will demand revenge. A lonely mind will beg for attention. A frightened heart will choose safety over greatness. But clarity asks a colder question. What decision will still serve me when this feeling is gone? That question separates rulers from victims. From this moment forward, when emotion demands an immediate reaction, create distance. Breathe. Watch. Ask who benefits from your response. Ask what silence might reveal. Then move only when your mind is clear. Comment. My emotions inform me, but they never command me. You are not becoming heartless. You are becoming impossible to provoke, difficult to predict, and far too disciplined to surrender your future to one temporary feeling. Number 2. Patience is controlled power. Patience is not passive. It is power under command. Most men rush because silence makes them uncomfortable. They answer too quickly, trust too easily, reveal too much, and move before they understand the battlefield. Then they call the consequences bad luck. Machiavelli would call it poor judgment. A man who cannot wait cannot rule himself. And a man who cannot rule himself will eventually be ruled by someone more disciplined. You must learn to delay action without losing intent. Let others become restless. Let them expose their motives through repetition, pressure, and careless words. Time reveals what emotion hides. A liar struggles to maintain his story. A manipulator becomes frustrated when you do not react. An enemy grows impatient when you refuse to enter the trap. Your patience forces people to show you who they are. That is why calm men are dangerous. They do not need to win every moment. They are willing to lose attention, miss temporary pleasure, and tolerate uncertainty in order to protect the larger outcome. They understand that urgency is often manufactured to weaken judgment. Decide now. Answer me. Prove yourself. Take the opportunity before it disappears. These are not always commands of reality. Sometimes they are tools of control. When someone demands your speed, ask yourself why your patience threatens them. Never allow another person's urgency to become your emergency. Step back, study the cost, observe what changes when you refuse to be rushed. A powerful man does not move because pressure increases. He moves because the timing is right. He knows that a delayed strike can be stronger than an immediate reaction, and a quiet withdrawal can be more devastating than an argument. Your goal is not to become slow. Your goal is to become deliberate. Think before you promise. Watch before you trust. Prepare before you act. Let your decisions come from structure, not tension. Comment, I move when the time serves me. Write it and remember it. You are no longer racing to prove yourself. You are building the patience to let weak people expose themselves, foolish people exhaust themselves, and opportunities mature before you claim them. Real power does not panic. Real power waits, watches, and moves once. Number 3. Clarity begins when the noise ends. Clarity does not come from thinking more. It comes from removing what distorts your thinking. Fear distorts, anger distorts, ego distorts, attachment distorts. The mind becomes dangerous only when it is no longer crowded by the need to be admired, understood, chosen, or proven right. Machiavelli knew that the man who sees reality clearly holds an advantage over the man who only sees what he wants to believe. Most people do not study situations as they are. They study them through hope, insecurity, pride, and emotional hunger. They ignore warning signs because the truth is uncomfortable. They trust words because actions would force them to walk away. They defend bad decisions because admitting error would wound their ego. This is how intelligent men destroy themselves, not through ignorance, but through self-deception. You must become colder with the facts. When someone shows inconsistency, do not explain it away. When a pattern repeats, do not call it coincidence. When your instincts warn you, investigate instead of dismissing them. Clarity requires the courage to accept what reality is saying, even when it destroys the story you wanted to believe. Remove yourself from the center of every situation. Stop asking, "Why are they doing this to me?" Ask, "What does this behavior reveal?" Stop asking whether their words sound sincere. Ask whether their actions remain consistent when there is nothing to gain. A clear mind does not chase comforting answers. It looks for useful truth. Before making an important decision, separate facts from assumptions. Separate what happened from what you fear might happen. Separate what you know from what your ego is inventing. Then ask one ruthless question. What choice gives me the greatest control over my future? Comment, "I choose truth over comforting illusions." Write it because weak men protect their fantasies while powerful men protect their direction. You do not need every answer immediately. You need enough distance to see without emotional fog. When the noise fades, the pattern appears. When the pattern appears, the next move becomes obvious. And when your mind becomes clear, people who once confused, pressured, or manipulated, you will discover that their influence has ended. Number 4. Never make decisions to satisfy your ego. Your ego is one of the most dangerous advisors you will ever have. It speaks with confidence, but it does not care about your future. It only cares about winning the moment. It wants the last word. It wants revenge. It wants to prove that you cannot be ignored, replaced, rejected, or disrespected. Machiavelli understood that a man obsessed with protecting his pride becomes easy to control. Insult him, and he reacts. Challenge him, and he overcommits. Ignore him, and he begins performing for attention. This is how enemies make emotional men destroy themselves without lifting a hand. You must learn to recognize when your ego is demanding action that strategy would reject. Not every disrespect deserves a response. Not every accusation deserves an explanation. Not every departure deserves pursuit. Sometimes the most powerful answer is to remain still and let the other person wonder why they could not move you. Your silence should not come from fear, it should come from calculation. Ask yourself what you are truly trying to achieve. Are you protecting your long-term position, or are you merely trying to feel powerful for 5 minutes? A foolish victory can cost you opportunities, relationships, reputation, and peace. A temporary humiliation can sometimes protect a greater advantage. Weak men cannot tolerate appearing defeated, so they reveal their plans too early. Strong men can absorb a moment of discomfort because they know the final outcome matters more than public appearance. Never let pride force you to remain where you are undervalued. Never let embarrassment make you defend a mistake. Never let rejection make you chase what has already chosen to leave. The ego says, make them regret it. Wisdom says, build a life that no longer needs their regret. Comment, my future is greater than my ego. Write it and remember it whenever pride begins demanding a reckless move. You are not here to win every argument. You are here to preserve your energy, sharpen your position, and choose outcomes that still benefit you long after the emotion has disappeared. A man who controls his ego becomes difficult to bait, impossible to embarrass, and dangerous to underestimate. Number 5. Detachment protects your judgment. Attachment can make a man loyal to what is destroying him. He sees the warning signs, feels the disrespect, notices the imbalance, yet remains because he has invested too much emotion to walk away. Machiavelli understood that anything you believe you cannot lose can eventually be used to control you. A person, a position, an image, a dream. The tighter you hold it, the more power it gains over your decisions. This is why detachment is not coldness. It is protection. It allows you to value something without becoming dependent on it. You can love without begging, commit without becoming blind, desire without surrendering your judgment. The moment you convince yourself that one person, one opportunity, or one outcome is your only path, fear enters your thinking. Then you begin tolerating what you once rejected. You negotiate against yourself. You ignore reality because reality threatens your attachment. A powerful man always remembers that he can leave. He does not announce it. He does not use withdrawal as a childish threat. He simply keeps enough inner strength to choose himself when the price of staying becomes too high. Study what happens when you imagine losing the thing you are attached to. Does your mind panic? Do you feel tempted to compromise your dignity? That reaction reveals where you are vulnerable. Build alternatives. Strengthen your identity. Create a life so complete that no single person can become your entire source of meaning. Comment: I value deeply, but I depend on nothing. Write it because freedom begins when your peace is no longer held hostage by one outcome. Detachment also protects you from false urgency. You stop forcing connections. You stop chasing closed doors. You stop trying to convince people to recognize your worth. What is truly aligned with you will not require the destruction of your self-respect, and what demands that destruction is already too expensive. Learn to release before resentment poisons you. Learn to walk away before desperation exposes you. The man who can lose without losing himself cannot be controlled through fear. He becomes calm in uncertainty, clear during separation, and untouchable when others expect him to beg. Number 6. Silence gives you the advantage. Silence is not the absence of power, it is power refusing to expose itself too early. Most men speak because they are uncomfortable being misunderstood. They explain their motives, defend their choices, reveal their plans, and announce what they are about to do. Then they wonder why people interfere, compete, manipulate, or prepare against them. Machiavelli understood that information is leverage. The more others know about your fears, intentions, weaknesses, and desires, the easier you become to predict. And anything predictable can be controlled. You must learn to speak with purpose, not impulse. Do not reveal every thought merely because it entered your mind. Do not explain every boundary to people committed to crossing it. Do not announce every move before it is complete. Let results speak where words would only create resistance. Silence gives you time to observe. It allows careless people to keep talking until they expose what they meant to hide. A liar often reveals himself through excess detail. An insecure person reveals themselves through constant comparison. A manipulator becomes impatient when you refuse to give them emotional material. Your stillness creates pressure, and pressure makes people reveal their nature. But silence must be controlled, not passive-aggressive. You are not withdrawing to punish. You are withholding reaction so that your judgment remains clean. When insulted, pause. When questioned, answer only what is necessary. When betrayed, study the pattern before revealing what you know. The man who reacts immediately gives his opponent a map. The man who remains composed forces them to move in darkness. Comment: my silence protects my power. Write it and remember it when you feel the urge to over-explain. You do not need to convince everyone. You do not need to prove your strength through noise. The strongest position is often the one that does not need public defense. Speak when your words create value. Speak when the timing serves you. Speak when silence would cost more than truth. Until then, remain unreadable. Let them underestimate you. Let them believe they understand you. Then allow your actions to reveal how little they truly knew. Number 7. Discipline makes the right decision easier. Discipline is not merely forcing yourself to work when you feel tired. It is building a mind that no longer needs permission from emotion. Most men know what they should do, but knowledge is useless when every decision depends on mood. They train when they feel motivated, remain silent when it is easy, save money when temptation is absent, and protect their standards only when loneliness is not testing them. Then pressure arrives, and the identity they claimed to possess disappears. Machiavelli understood that strength is not proven by what a man intends to do. It is proven by what he repeatedly does when comfort offers him an easier path. You must create rules for yourself before chaos begins. Decide what you will not tolerate before attachment clouds your judgment. Decide how you will respond to disrespect before anger demands revenge. Decide what habits protect your future before laziness begins negotiating. A disciplined man removes unnecessary debate. He does not wake up each morning and ask whether his goals still deserve effort. He has already answered that question. He moves because the decision was made by a clearer version of himself. This is how you stop emotion from controlling your future. You build systems stronger than temporary feelings. When you are angry, your rules prevent reckless words. When you are lonely, your standards prevent desperate choices. When you are afraid, your preparation prevents panic. Discipline turns wisdom into automatic behavior. It protects you from the weaker version of yourself that appears during exhaustion, rejection, temptation, and uncertainty. Comment: my standards do not change with my emotions. Write it because your future will be determined less by dramatic moments and more by the quiet decisions nobody sees. The hour you refused distraction, the message you chose not to send, the money you did not waste, the person you stopped chasing, the promise you kept when breaking it would have been easier. These decisions appear small, but together they construct a man who cannot be easily shaken. Do not depend on inspiration. Inspiration is a visitor. Discipline is a permanent guard. Build routines that continue when excitement disappears. Keep your word to yourself, especially when no one is watching. Every time you obey your principles instead of your impulses, you strengthen your authority over your own mind. And once a man commands himself completely, the outside world finds fewer ways to command him. Number 8. Read patterns, not promises. Words are easy to manufacture. Patterns are harder to fake. Anyone can promise loyalty when loyalty costs nothing. Anyone can speak of respect while they still need access to you. Anyone can appear sincere for a moment, but time exposes what performance tries to conceal. Machiavelli understood that intelligent men do not judge others by what they claim to be. They study what people repeatedly do when pressure, temptation, jealousy, and self-interest enter the room. You must stop allowing beautiful words to overpower consistent evidence. One apology does not erase a pattern of betrayal. One act of kindness does not cancel months of disrespect. One emotional conversation does not transform a person who has repeatedly shown you that your boundaries mean nothing to them. Watch what repeats. Watch how they behave when you say no. Watch how they speak about people who are absent. Watch whether they celebrate your growth or become distant when you begin surpassing them. A clear mind collects evidence before giving trust. It does not become paranoid, but it refuses to become blind. Most manipulation succeeds because the victim keeps evaluating isolated moments instead of the complete pattern. The manipulator offers just enough warmth to create doubt, just enough apology to restore access, and just enough hope to prevent departure. Then the cycle begins again. Your power returns when you stop asking whether someone might change and begin asking what their repeated behavior has already proven. Do not argue with patterns. Do not explain them away because the truth is painful. Reality does not become less dangerous because you refuse to name it. Comment: I trust patterns, not promises. Write it because your future depends on your ability to recognize what is consistent. Give people room to reveal themselves without rushing to label them. But once the evidence becomes clear, stop negotiating with what you know. Trust slowly. Observe quietly. Remember accurately. Never allow loneliness to make you forget how someone treated you when they believed you had nowhere else to go. A strategic man may forgive, but he does not erase the lesson. He may remain civil, but he does not return the same access. He understands that wisdom is not bitterness. Wisdom is memory disciplined by reality. When you read patterns instead of promises, deception loses its disguise, manipulation loses its timing, and your decisions become almost impossible to control. Number 9. Protect the future from the present. The present moment is loud. It demands relief, attention, pleasure, revenge, comfort, and immediate certainty. The future is quieter. It does not shout. It waits to see whether you will protect it. This is why most men sacrifice years for minutes. They trade reputation for one emotional reaction, discipline for one night of weakness, financial freedom for temporary status, and self-respect for the comfort of not being alone. Machiavelli understood that power belongs to the man who can think beyond the pressure of the present. You must learn to ask what today's decision will become tomorrow. Every action plants a consequence. Every habit casts a vote for the man you are becoming. The message you send in anger may survive longer than the anger. The promise you make under pressure may imprison you after the pressure disappears. The person you accept from loneliness may bring chaos into a future you worked years to build. Think further. A strategic man does not only ask, "What do I want now?" He asks, "What will this cost me later?" He studies the second consequence, the hidden price, and the door that closes after one impulsive choice. This does not mean living in fear. It means refusing to let temporary emotions spend resources that belong to your future. Protect your name, protect your health, protect your money, protect your concentration, protect your ability to walk away with dignity. These are forms of power, and once wasted, they can take years to rebuild. Comment: I protect the man I am becoming. Write it because your future self is depending on decisions your present self may not enjoy. Sometimes patience feels like losing. Discipline feels like deprivation. Silence feels like surrender. Walking away feels like emptiness. But those feelings are temporary. The position they protect may last for years. Learn to tolerate short-term discomfort in service of long-term control. Let others chase immediate rewards while you construct something they cannot easily take from you. You are not denying yourself life. You are refusing to mortgage your destiny for a moment that will soon be forgotten. A man becomes untouchable when his present emotions can no longer negotiate away his future. Number 10. Become the man who decides his own future. Your greatest victory is not defeating another man. It is becoming impossible for anger, fear, desire, pressure, and attachment to defeat you. That is the final form of control. Move with patience. Think with clarity. Let emotion speak, but never let it sit on the throne. Machiavelli understood that the man who governs himself becomes difficult to govern from the outside. Insults cannot rush him. Rejection cannot break him. Temptation cannot redirect him. Manipulation cannot survive against a mind that observes before it reacts. This is the man you must become, not cold because you are wounded, but calm because you are trained. Not silent because you are afraid, but quiet because you are watching. Not detached because you feel nothing, but disciplined enough to lose anything without losing yourself. From this moment forward, protect your future from temporary feelings. Pause before you answer. Study before you trust. Prepare before you move. Walk away when staying demands your dignity. Let people misunderstand you. Let them underestimate your patience. Let them believe your silence means weakness. Your results will correct them. Comment: I decide my future with a clear mind. Write it now and make it your final declaration. You are no longer the man who reacts first and regrets later. You are the man who waits until the noise fades, sees the entire battlefield, and chooses the move that protects his power. If this message strengthened your mind, like this video, subscribe to Psycopedia, and turn on notifications. Return whenever emotion tries to control your direction. Remember, the world cannot easily manipulate a man who has mastered the space between feeling and action. Your future is too valuable to be decided by one temporary storm.